Pick a question from a song title or lyric and give it your best answer. What are words if you really don't mean them when you say them? Current theories on the relationship between words and thoughts usually involve, of all things, an apple. The apple could be a nod at the Garden of Eden. It could also be a nod at its crisp, refreshing qualities, a high commendation for the farmers. To understand the theory, imagine that you're in front of an apple stand, picking the most well-beared apple, the kind the evil stepmother gave Snow White. You could observe its sheen and rolled color, thereby speculating its taste. The peel represents the pulp, just as words represent thoughts. This theory is incorrect. No, the problem is not the fruit. Even if you are in front of a pure stand, the theory remains incorrect, except for the bit about the farmers. It's a structural design flaw that words never really say what you mean. Think of it as photographing a summer retreat. Sure, the picture dutifully replicates every detail, even the glistening plastic lawn. But there is something depressing about compressing 3 dimensions into 2. You know, a big chunk of your thoughts had been lost. Almost all of it, if we abide by solid geometry. Then there's the matter of form. Ideography is woefully meant not to be opaque, but hieroglyphs nevertheless subtract rivers into curvy segments. Is that the Yangtze River or the brook passing our school? Phonography is even more outraging by being a hard disk amidst the clouds. Users need an extra step to access corresponding data and respond. Brainwave communication always seems to me the optimal solution. The author would like to apologize for the extensive metaphors and similes that have and will have been used. Think of it as a cake built up by wobbly whipping cream. That being said, there is always a version of a cake built up by wobbly whipping cream, isn't there? As the 4-lettered cake is typed down, an infinite version of cakes pops into being, and every recreation varies in nuanced ways. Despite my relatively detailed description of wobbly whipping cream, you don't know whether it is vanilla or strawberry. Despite my designating the cream a strawberry one, you don't know whether the color is even or the pink mingles with white. Possibilities exist, but they are derails more than anything else. One of the most atrocious crimes of the internet is tasteless memes, which flooded the virtual space like hypothetical bunnies. Try this one. The word cry was invented in 1662. Therefore, people attended funerals in 1661 in a jolly way, with banquets and celebratory champagnes. Or this one. The concept of gravity was discovered in 1687. Therefore, people changed the light bulbs in 1686 by levitating onto the ceiling. You see, actions are unbounded by words, for they are the collective product of evolutionary adaptations, social customs, and sometimes individual creativity. But flipping the argument, the void of uninvented words can be substituted by opposites and a mash with idiosyncrasy. Possibilities unfold. The 1661 mother told her child not to be jolly when attending a funeral. The child thought about it and decided not to run about, not to chat around with his friends, and not to make himself muddy. He might shed a tear or two, depending on what the adults do. Vavoom. There exists a boat and a boatman. It could be Karen ferrying the soul of the deceased across the river Acheron, and it could be someone else. A traveler steps in, the boat silently advances. The traveler drinks in all the wonders. There could be fjords, there could be technicolor tartan hills, they could pass limestone caves, ducking their heads to avoid drooping stalactites, and flickering candlelight lighting only meters ahead. The traveler arrives. The boatman returns to the starting point and waits for another traveler. Now, who decides which watercourse they navigate? Is it just a boatman or just a passenger? Is it just them two? I suppose there must be them, pulling the boat upstream or pulling a lever. And there are also ineffable natural factors, where undercurrent drags the boat off track and fish rain forces a temporary halt. is not a settled trip. Countless possibilities generate countless uncertainties, but possibilities are beautiful, as they manifest how humans are intrinsically attracted toward exploring the unknown, where, excavating the depths of our minds, thoughts bloom with the gentle tap of a word. Perhaps in a rom-com possibility, seeing the Tartan Hills, the traveler decides to open a bespoke suit shop rather than plunging his way into Wall Street. Words derived from endless possibilities inspire equally endless possibilities. They can never be transcriptions of our thoughts, but they have the beautiful ability to create in their own rights.